What's up, y'all? Brandon with BC Talks here. So, if you remember back to my Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel slab mail call that I did a few weeks ago, I mentioned at the beginning of that video that I had a book coming in that was the first appearance of a character related to Black Panther. Well, I got that book in, and I'm really excited to go over it with y'all in today's mail call. It's also the first Raw book that I've ever bought online. I usually only buy slabs online because obviously, slabs are graded, so you can tell for sure the condition. Sometimes online people can manipulate the lighting in pictures or manipulate pictures to make different certain flaws not appear. But this book was just too good of a deal to pass on when I saw it, and I recognized the condition of the book. I thought I could tell pretty well. I guess we'll see it once I crack it open here. But I'm really excited to go over the book, and also I have another Whatnot package. This is from Gotham Thrifty on Whatnot that we'll go over in the video as well. So let's go over everything that I got in today's mail call. Before we get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book and pop culture talk, and make sure you give me a follow on Whatnot. I am a verified seller on Whatnot, and like I said in other videos before, once I get my inventory more organized and together, I'm going to start doing more pop-up shows and sales on Whatnot. So make sure you give me a follow to stay tuned. And if it's your first time signing up for Whatnot, if you've never signed up before, you can use my link down in the description and you'll save $10 off your first purchase on there. It doesn't just have to be with me, it can be with anybody on Whatnot, and you can pretty much find anything to collect on there. I use it for comic books, obviously, but if you collect Pokemon cards, baseball, basketball, football cards, coins, pretty much anything you can collect, you can find on Whatnot. So if it's your first time ever using it, make sure you use my link down in the description and you'll save $10 off that first purchase. Like I said earlier, this is the first Raw book that I've ever bought online. I usually only buy slabs on there because, you're guaranteed to know the condition of the book if it's graded. But this is the first Raw book I bought online. But like I said, it was just too good of a deal to let go. And it's one of my top 5 favorite characters in the MCU, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in the movies. I like how on here they wrote, "Do not bend." Thanks for that. You always see interesting packaging on eBay, all sorts of packaging. So we're off to a great start here. Thanks for saying "don't bend." I'm sure they took heed to that. I'm gonna try to open this carefully because, like I said, it's a Raw book. It is not graded. And I don't know how it's packaged in here. So I'll try to be careful opening this. I do see some, there's like some cardboard. It looks like they might have just stuck the book in between a couple of pieces of cardboard.
This deal's getting worse all the time.
Which, is better than some books. I got a lot of romance comics a while back that were in a bag. That they were in a box, but the books inside the box were in a like a like a Kroger or a Walmart bag. So that was interesting packaging. I think that's the weakest packaging I've ever seen. But for a single Raw book, this might not be the best packaging. But so yeah, it's in between two cardboard boxes here. And like I said, I got this on eBay a few weeks back, and it came in, and it's Black History Month, so I had to get another video of a black comic book character for y'all. This one is not as important to the history of Marvel Comics to me as Monica Rambeau is. But it's like I said, it's one of my favorite characters in the movies. They really elevated the character this is one of the characters that the movies sort of elevated from the comics, in my opinion. This is also probably, I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna be one of, if not my oldest oldest non-romance comic books. So I collect, if you're new to the channel, I collect a lot of Charlton Comics romance. And those Charlton Comics romance books, some of them are from like, the 40s and 50s. I don't have any from the 40s and 50s. I do have a few from the early 60s though. So those are my oldest books. But as far as, non-romance comics go, this might be one of my oldest. I'll have to check. But this is Avengers number 62, written by Roy Thomas with art by the great John Buscema. So a pretty powerful um, team on this book. And as you can tell, you can see Man Ape down there at the bottom and Black Panther hanging there. This is the first appearance of M'Baku, aka Man Ape, the leader of the White Gorilla Cult, and the first appearance of Wakabi, the second in command to T'Challa. And we saw both these characters in the MCU in the Black Panther movie. Obviously, M'Baku is played by the great Winston Duke, and Wakabi was played by Daniel Oyelowo. And so the I'll go ahead and pop this open so we can check the condition as well while I talk about it. This book I won in an eBay auction. It was $46 total. The auction I won it for 36, and then obviously there's shipping and tax on eBay, which was like $10 and some change. So that took it to $46, and it was listed as in fine condition. But even in fine condition, for $36 is a great deal. And there is some obviously it's fine condition, so there's some creasing on the cover, but you can tell that in the pictures. I can tell in the pictures. It's probably hard to tell on the camera. I'll try to show y'all. It's up there, where my finger is up there by the heads. There's a little bit of creasing, um, and there is a rusty staple down at the bottom. The book is attached though. If you can see, I'll show y'all there. If you can see it, it's a little rusty staple. But this book is from 1969. This is Avengers number 62. So under 100 of Avengers issues here. And y'all can see, 1969. But yeah, the book is attached. Good centerfold. I'll check and see all the pages. Yeah, the crease kind of goes through the pages as well, but the pages aren't ripped though. It's just creased. Um, let's see here. Yeah, for this is for how they listed it. Like I said, I can see in the pictures as well that it looked better than for the price. It looked better than what the price was going for. So and then there's some light there's some creasing and foxing, not foxing, but creasing and stuff on the near the spine as well. But for $36, this was a steal. I could not let this go. Like I said, M'Baku is one of my favorite characters in the MCU. And most people probably don't know this that don't read comic books, but M'Baku is actually one of Black Panther's main villains, and he's usually a villain in the comics. He didn't really become a hero until after the movie came out. The movies was the first medium that portrayed him as a hero. Christopher Priest had a really great Black Panther run in the '90s. Who Christopher Priest is another great Black comic book creator. He was part of the creation of the Milestone universe, which is the universe that created Static Shock and Icon and Hardware and all of them. Christopher Priest had a really great run on Black Panther in the '90s, where he portrayed M'Baku as more of a sympathetic villain, but he was still a villain in that series. You could just sympathize with him more, similar to how they portrayed Killmonger in the movies. That's how he portrayed him in the '90s Black Panther series. So he was still a villain, but you could kind of get why he was doing what he was doing. But he's never actually been a hero in the comics until recently, until after the Black Panther movie came out in 2018. Then they started making him a hero in the comics. But yeah, he started out as in this issue, obviously it's his first appearance, Avengers number 62, and he takes on the name Man Ape after killing a white gorilla, which gives him powers. And then he wears the white gorilla suit. You can see he has the white gorilla suit on there. And then he takes a rival cult, the white gorilla cult, and he takes control. He takes control of the cult, and then he goes and tries to challenge Black Panther for Wakanda to take Wakanda back to be more primitive because I guess he didn't like how Wakanda was becoming so technologically advanced. He wanted them to go back to their primitive days. But he loses to Black Panther, and a statue falls on him. Black Panther statue falls on him, and he's presumed dead, but he actually escaped and went to America, and he joins the Lethal Legion, which we find out in a later Avengers issue. It was Avengers 78. So a few more issues later, in Avengers 78, we find out he joined the Lethal Legion, and that was his second appearance. And he was laying low in America, plotting on Black Panther. Black Panther eventually goes and joins the Avengers, and then he attacks him again. So he pretty much just his whole comic book history is him and Black Panther fighting each other. They do actually Black Panther T'Challa, and when Black Panther and Storm got married, he invited M'Baku to his wedding for some reason. And M'Baku was also surprised that he was invited. He was going to show up and crash the wedding, but then when he got there, they said he was invited. So that was interesting. He didn't even expect to get invited. And then he ends up fighting Spider-Man at that wedding. He gets into a fight with Spider-Man at the wedding. But yeah, so M'Baku, he doesn't have a lot of appearances in comic books outside of, being sort of a nemesis to Black Panther. But like I said, in the movies, I really love how Winston Duke kind of took the character and made the character his own and really put his imprint on the character. I really love M'Baku in the movies. And it's really cool that M'Baku is now the leader of Wakanda because in the comic series, in the 90s series, I believe it was with Christopher Priest that I mentioned earlier, M'Baku did become the leader of Wakanda in that series. And he does become leader of Wakanda later in later comics as well, and does a lot of stuff for Wakanda. Like I said, in more recent series, he became a hero. But I had to, like I said, I had this book coming in. I was really excited to share it because obviously it's Black History Month, so I had to get another prominent Black character. He's not as prominent in the comics, but at least in Black comic book history, or Black superhero history, I should say. The Black Panther movie was so monumental for not just Black comic book characters, but the superhero genre as a whole. It got nominated for 7 Oscars. It won 3 Oscars, and it was the first superhero movie ever to be nominated for Best Picture. So the Black Panther movie is pretty prominent in not just Black history, but superhero history as a whole. It really changed the game for superhero movies, and that movie was so it was so different than any other Marvel movie had been up to that point. Just the culture that's that they built in the movie, with the music and the costumes. They really made it feel like Wakanda was a real place. It was crazy how they did the movie, and then the plot of the movie with Killmonger, and how you could really see where he was coming from, even though he was going about his mission the wrong way. You could really see where he was coming from, and the reason why he was doing what he was doing. It was such a well scripted movie, well directed movie, well shot movie. Some of the shots in that movie are amazing. Like when they come up over the waterfall to Wakanda, that shot was crazy, and they're all dancing on the thing. It's that I do. Spoiler alert. I was gonna do a tier list of the MCU movies. Doing a ranking the tier list after the Marvels came out, but now I think I'm gonna push that back to probably the week before Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine comes out. So when there's a little bit more hype for the MCU. But spoiler alert for that tier list, Black Panther is very high on my list of Marvel movies. It's S tier for me. I don't know what position I would have it in yet, but it's definitely S tier, and it's definitely at least top 5 MCU for me, if not higher. It's one of my favorite MCU movies, one of the best MCU movies just in general. And M'Baku had a really big part in making that movie what it was. So yeah, this is a really cool book that I got for a really great deal, and yeah, I was excited to show it to you guys. All right, so I have the book in a Mylar now. So it's looking a lot better. Obviously, if it's a little trick if you're new to comics and you have a book that presents well, as people will say. Which means that it might be a little bit on the rougher side. Maybe it's very fine or fine, but the cover looks good. You can slip it in a Mylar. I double bag my Mylars. just to be safe. And you can slip it in a Mylar and then maybe a top loader, and you're good to go. It'll look just as good as a graded book. But yeah, this one, like I said, for the price, it was really great. And very minimal, pretty much no damage to the cover other than that crease, which you can't really see unless you're looking at it very closely, and even in the camera, it's hard to see. Um, and then that staple down there, which is also hard to see. But in a Mylar, you can't really tell. It presents well. And I really love this cover as well. It's a really great cover with Black Panther and Manape and some floating heads. Y'all know I love floating head covers. But yeah, I I do have some top loaders, but I need to get new top loaders because the top loaders I got a while back, and they're a little cloudy. Those books on the shelf up here, they're all just in Mylar, double bagged, no top loaders, and they look fine. Mylar's fine for displaying books, in my opinion. I don't really use top loaders that much. I do have some, but I don't know. I just like them just in straight Mylar double bag better. But moving on to the last part of the video, I have a few whatnot books that I got a while back from Gotham Thrift, New York, on Whatnot. So check him out. He always has good books for good prices. And these, they're not really, there's not a lot of prominent books in here. There's a mix of some books that I got for filler for different runs, and then some cover buys as well. I just threw this in here because I knew I was going to go on and on about the Black Panther M'Baku book. And when I do that, I try to keep the video as short as I can because I know I'm going to go on and on about it. So just got a short little whatnot stack to round out the video. The first one is Wolverine number 61. And I got this one. This was a cover by. I also do have a few of the Wolverine books as well. I wouldn't say I'm collecting I guess I'm casually collecting the Wolverine series. I'm not really going after it hardcore. When I see a book for a good price, I'll pick it up. This one was $3, and it's not a key, but like I said, I bought it for the Jubilee cover. It's a Mark Teixeira cover, if I recall correctly. And Jubilee is one of my favorite characters. And if you didn't see the X-Men '97 series, which is a continuation of the '90s animated series, this ran from I think '92 to '96. It was like 5 seasons or so. They're continuing it. Which is why it's called X-Men '97, because the series ended in 1996, so it's picking up the year after. Yeah, Jubilee was in the trailer we saw. A lot of Wolverine as well. And Cyclops is leading the X-Men now. There was a really cool moment where he said, "To me, my X-Men." And they all land and do the thing. That was a really cool moment. And then hearing the music, all that. That was cool to see. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Pick up your X-Men keys while you can, because once that series comes out, they're gonna shoot up in price. I have a lot in my whatnots pile to sell. If you followed the first show, you saw I have a lot of Uncanny X-Men books because I collect the series, and I'll see here and there, books that I already have that I pick up, I'll put for sale. So make sure you, again, give me a follow if you're looking for Uncanny X-Men or any X-Men related books, because I definitely have a lot of those. But this next one is Wolverine 51. Again, this is not a key. I bought it for the cover, and my casual Wolverine collection. I just thought it's a really cool cover with Wolverine there. This next one is Web of Spider-Man number 125. And this one is a key. And that last one was $2. This one was also $2. This is the first appearance of Phil Urich's Green Goblin. So not Norman Osborn, obviously. Different Green Goblin, Phil Urich, who later becomes the Hobgoblin, then the Goblin Knight, then the Goblin King. But the main reason I bought this was for the cover, because I collect covers with characters kissing or getting married, or love covers, stuff like that. So this with what appears to be Gwen and Peter kissing, I bought, and it has the heart there. So that'll go in that collection. This next one is Thor 220. This was another cover buy. I thought it was a really cool cover here with Thor. And it's not a key, but just it was $2, and was a cover buy there. This next one, these couple were for a run filler, X Factor number 2. I don't know how I never had X Factor number 2. But it's the first appearance of Artie Maddox, a mutant with the ability to project holograms of his thoughts. This one was $2. Then I have another X Factor. It is X Factor number 8, which is not a key, I believe. Yeah, it's not a key, but it is just some run filler for the X Factor run. Some more run filler here. This is Guardians of the Galaxy number 3. Um, this is from the 1990s series. It's not a key, just some run filler. And then another one, Guardians of the Galaxy number 4. Again, some more run filler. I've been casually collecting that run as well. And then we have Vision and the Scarlet Witch number 3 from the limited series, which I think this one is not a key either. Yeah, this one's not a key either. But that's just some run filler for that series. And a cool cover as well. I like that cover. And then this last one here is Avengers number 315. This one is gonna go in the covers collection, as you can see up there. This was a cover by obviously Newsstand. It's not a key. Yeah, it's not a key, but it's gonna go in the Cheeks cover collection. I have a I think it's funny. There's a lot of covers with the GYAT, so it'll go in the GYAT covers collection. But that is all of the books that I got on Whatnot. And that is going to do it for today's mail call. Also, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, I apologize if my voice was a little stuffy or sounded weird. I'm recovering from a little bit of a cold a few days ago. But that's everything that I had in today's video. So make sure you let me know what you thought of the book. I thought for buying a raw book on eBay, it was pretty much what it looked like in the picture. So they did a good job, even though the packaging was very suspect and it could have been destroyed in transit. Thankfully, it was not. And the book pretty much looked like what I thought it looked like in the pictures. And again, it looks really good and presents really well in that Mylar as well. But let me know what you thought of everything in today's video down in the comments. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more comic book and pop culture talk. And I will see y'all another day.